Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Electrician Vorspiel first interview. My name is Júlio Mendes Rodrigo and I've got with me film director Pankaj Purohit. He is in Portugal for the screening of his movie Belly of the Tantra. This film was projected during the Cine-Rebis, the London and Porto Underground Film Festival, that took place in Maus Hábitos between the 29th and 30th of November and 1st of December. Thank you for accepting my invitation in order to be in this interview. I made a quick research in order to prepare this interview before I come to see the screening of this movie, The Belly of the Tantra. And I noticed that the premiere was last year. This is a recent movie. It was shot in 2012. How many projections did you make before?
We went to Berlin last year and did our first screening, which went really well. Then we came to London on the 17th and did a couple of shows, and then today here, which is the 30th, in Maus Hábitos, Porto.
So we are talking about three screenings
yes.
in a year?
Yeah, in UK and Europe.
Okay. Is that normal, only 3 screenings? It was your option, or did you have any problems?
I wanted the film to travel UK, Europe and America before releasing it in India. There were many festivals that I could have chosen, but the Underground Film Studio has prestigious platforms in London and Porto. And when Daniel Clara told me about that, I was very much excited to be giving it to them. Also it was screened at the Horse Hospital, which is a major art venue in London. And we just wanted to give it to someone who could really take good care of the film.
To put it in good hands in order to have the proper audience, proper means of projection.
Yeah, it's like, how do you give your baby to a babysitter who might not be good with them. So
we were talking before this interview, and you said me that there was a difference between the screening here in Portugal and that one that was made in London. Can you tell us about that process?
Yeah, in England there were 2 versions which were edited. One version had voiceover to it, where I and my producer, we guide the audience through the journey of the film, which they picked up to be played in the UK. And then they chose the second version to be played in Portuguese, to Portugal. And I do not know, but Clara was more, Clara insisted on playing the version that is without narration here.
In my opinion, because we were talking about this, it makes many sense. And for that I have two keywords. I will try to explain them. One is freedom and the other one is dramatis persona. So I will try to be objective. Well, 12 years ago I was in Russia, and I noticed that the movies there are narrated by only one guy. And someone told me, well, this guy is making the narration of the films for decades. So I guess that was a system that was used by the Soviet regime in order to control everything. So it is a freedom process.
Okay.
The other one, I guess it's dramatis persona. Well, here in Portugal, one of the things that I think it's good the films are not narrated, and I don't know the word in English. Well, they put some actor to speak over the actor's voice. So that is made in Spain and I guess in Italy. So, but I think that everyone would agree that it would be very strange to hear Marilyn Monroe to sing something Felice cumpleaños, Senor President, instead of Happy Birthday, Mr. President. So, President. I guess that is one of the main motives. So we are not used to have to be guided through the film. So, and I think, in my opinion, that is a good thing. But otherwise, when we want to explore, to know something, we have to do research. That can be easily achieved through the extras on a DVD. Of course, today we have the privilege to talk with you in person and to put our doubts. But if someday you will put this on a DVD, yeah, it will make every sense to have the two versions. So this is my explanation.
Wonderful.
It is a personal one. I noticed that in the beginning of your movie, you put a disclaimer's notice. Did you expect some kind of reaction to the contents of your movie?
Are you talking about the disclaimer that was
in the beginning
about the process, or that
the first one that says that this is not the producer's opinion?
Yeah. Yes, because we again, Belly of the Tantra is a kind of movie that could be taken as anti-religion and anti-Hindu, and we didn't want to spark that controversy. Although the picture was banned for almost a year now, the ban's lifted up. We have to cut shots now that shots like vagina worship, animal sacrifice shots, and many more shots had to be cut though. But I was very careful to be not to spark any controversy that will, not let people watch the movie.
Okay. One of the other questions that was raised after the screening was, what were the main reasons that took you to make this film?
I was very much intrigued by these holy men. They're considered holy men in India. So I was very much intrigued by these holy men who live in cremation grounds, who eat human flesh, who practice strange rituals like vagina worship, and claim to be immortal, claim to be not die. And who were these people? Who were these men?
They claim themselves to be some kind of avatars of the Hindu gods?
Yes, they claim to possess spirits, and through those spirits, they can, by appeasing those spirits, they can get the gift of immortality. They can get their blessings, and then they could be immortal. They'll never die. They claim that they receive powers through the spirits, and hence have the power to become immortals.
Okay.
So yes, they claim to be immortals.
Actually, this is a quite interesting topic because, of course, I saw this movie with my Western eyes, and I noticed some similarities when we approach some topics of Western esotericism, because during the Middle Ages and even before, there were some sects here in Europe that were called Gnostics. They also worship women, they also drink semen. There was also some similarities. Of course, we are talking about different cultures. Do you think that when we speak about left-hand path in this kind of religion manifestations that are proclaimed by these sects, we are talking about something like trying to domain or to obtain salvation of the mind through the matter? I mean, do they believe that eating human flesh and making sexual intercourse for hours, is that some sort of salvation in order to make themselves more free?
Yes, the path of Aghori is the path of extremes. They believe that by touching extremes and by touching human fear and touching it real close can take you beyond the frailty of being human, the weakness of being human. That could transcend you, these practices can transcend you and would take you beyond yourself. They believe in these rituals and really in totality. So yes, they believe that these rituals will take them beyond themselves and henceforth can attain salvation or moksha.
Okay.
So the path of Aghori is the path of touching extremes and then going beyond and transcending yourself, your own self.
Okay. I think that is important to say here for the viewers that are not acquainted with the religions of India, and I'm saying religions, not one religion, because it is a polytheistic country. These sects are a minority, aren't they?
Yes. Aghori is an ancient sect of Hinduism, and we're quite handful. Very few people practice.
Because I noticed that the government also forbids.
Yes, government has banned animal sacrifices. Government has banned human flesh eating, vagina worship. It's all illegal, and entire law to be doing such practices. But they choose really secluded, tucked away corners where they can perform these rituals, where police is not there, where law is not there, and they find those places. Usually these places are cremation grounds where bodies are burned.
They are public places. So
no, but there are very private, secluded cremation grounds as well, where they do these sacred these rituals during the middle of the night, where so nobody's there. So they have to find these secret tucked away corners to be able to do this.
Okay. I will put you the same question that I made before, after the screening, but of course our viewers weren't there, so they didn't notice. I asked you before if you went to this project with an ethnographic way of doing it, or in a research, in a more detectivistic way, like a journalistic one.
Yeah, I was. My original feeling was to go, and I'll tell you, there's somebody asked to Clint Eastwood sometime back and said, "Why did you choose this story? And why did you film this story?" And he said, "Well, I like this story." So a lot of times for an artist, it's not really intellectualizing the or analyzing the story before you go and get on with the journey. It's more one feeling, one original feeling, and then you go with it. it was curiosity that took me on this journey of shooting them, of talking to them. I was always curious ever since I remember I was a teenager, and then I met my father wanted me to meet in Aghori, and he said, touch his feet. So I go and touch his feet, and then he says, well, these are holy men, they're well respected, you're supposed to touch their feet. So from 16 to 34, the image was so, this Aghori ash-laden, shabbily, really shabbily, all over, smelling bad, this cracked feet, very not such a good sight. That image sort of, I took that image from 16 years of my age, 34 years, and then finally I had to do this to sort of complete the art.
Okay, I understand. It was some kind of pursuit in order to solve some image that
I
was
think
there
so.
since your
I
childhood.
think that there were questions that came to my mind, and I had to go and answer those questions with.
And you did a wonderful job, because the movie is really amazing. I didn't saw anything like this for a long time from now. So, of course, I recommend to all of you that have the opportunity to see it. Well, another question deals with this issue. Most of those people weren't aware that they were filmed. Did you, during the process, felt uncomfortable, to be dangerous in some sort of
there were times that things got a little out of hand. I remember times where our cinematographer and producer is female. I remember times where they pushed her, shoved her, and wanted to sort of intrude her space. Crowd was overly sensitive, and then they possess this one-pointed, this radical belief system. You have to be with the crowd. You cannot be an outsider looking in at this and just filming it, you know what I'm saying? Again, like you said, where this journalistic approach, it was definitely a journalistic approach, because I was really getting into the core of it and finding answers to a lot of questions, people's questions, my questions. But at the same time, I was not having those judgment eyes, but I was very much sort of respectful of learning, of course, as student, and respectful of what they were doing and what they were saying. So it was not just a journalistic approach, because then they would let me, this movie wouldn't have come. So it was my mind had to be really, at the same time, very inquisitive and curious, but at the same time very much understanding, like I'm one of them, I'm part of them, I'm part of the crowd. And there were situations where it got out of control. But then when you embark on journey of making a film like this, I think you take that chance to be. You prepare yourself to be consequences that may arise. You're always taking a chance, but that's the kind of films we like to make. That's the kind of art we aspire to make.
Is this a film by itself, or did you have any previous experience in this kind of documentary with this kind of process? Do you have any other films like that portray something?
There are films which have shown the right-hand path of God.
Okay.
The right-hand path to attain salvation, or to transcend yourself.
So in this one, you decided to show us the darker side of God worship.
We thought that even darkness can tell a story.
Mhm.
So we wanted to go to the left-hand path, the darker path towards attaining God.
Okay.
So we chose Dalit Tantra.
Okay, but I know that also mankind, civilization, culture can also produce evil, and I know that your next project will deal with something like this.
Yes, next project is again our choice of subjects has always been finding the hidden, finding something that is not that is not told to the world, that's been hidden, that's been lied to from people. That finding the underbelly, finding the deepest core of something, making projects that take us closer to truth. And not just on the periphery, getting in the center of things, getting the core of things. Our next project would be Sudden Cry. It's going to be titled Sudden Cry, which is, again in India, little girls are abducted and then raise them to become prostitutes so that they can sell them in global sex trade that's going all over the world. It's not just in India. Child prostitution is everywhere. There are girls who are drugged, oxytocin drug hormone on a daily basis so that they reach puberty at an early age and then so that they could be sold as prostitutes. And I think it's a sin, it's crime, and I think somebody got to stand up and speak up,
and to fight.
And there should be artists, I think more artists coming up who just don't make pictures for entertainment, and also make these socially significant pictures that has a message and that shows something to the world which is not right, and so I think it's a responsibility of artists to be making pictures that shows the hypocrisy of people, the human frailty, the things that are not shown, that are...
It's a commitment with your own time.
Yeah, it's a commitment to your own art, of things that are not right, So then that way I'm also a social activist. I do make social significant movies that tells that not everything is right in the world, and somebody has to go and say, no, this cannot be done. You cannot do this. And let's do something about it.
Yeah, to show the world what is happening.
Yeah, so Sudden Cry is a movie that'll make you aware and say, a girl child is there to have a better life, to become something, and not, just used as sex objects,
Okay.
Women shouldn't be used as sex objects.
Of course not. I think that's evil, in the pure evil, in its primary manifestation. One last question. You said at the end of the movie that you became a believer. Did you accept these kind of manifestations of the guys from the sect?
And again, no, there was no initiation process that I took, because I do condemn things that are there are things that I don't understand why human sacrifices or animal sacrifices are necessary to appease gods. I don't understand that killing an animal or vagina worshipping vagina can attain you nirvana, or moksha, or enlightenment, or how it could take you closer to truth. So I did not initiate into the religion or the cult I didn't become an Aghori. I said that we came out as believers in the context that and if you remember, there was a disclaimer that we said we didn't want to rationalize our feelings with our minds, and we tend to do that as humans. But the feeling was very real. The rituals and the way they participate in these rituals and with so much totality was incredible. Mm-hmm. And I felt that there's something possessed, that I'm possessed by something. And I just, you cannot stop but letting you sucked into their world. So that is why I said that I have managed to sort of going behind them and then seeing the world, and I managed to try to do that. And I see the point of view, and if you go in the Bible, God told Abraham to sacrifice his own son, and we didn't judge him.
Of course not.
So we couldn't have gotten in this world, we couldn't have talked to these people with judgments, with these judgments in our minds. We had to be open, we had to be available to them.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Pankaj, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. It was a really honor to meet you and to have you here for the Electrician Hospital. My name is Júlio Mendes Rodrigo, and this was the first of a series of interviews that I will make to post in the blog. So I will see you soon, and I hope that you have enjoyed our conversation with film director Pankaj. See you.